I don't think that the way that I understand that question or the way that I make sense or really care to answer it, I care a lot about what happens in the Middle East, but I don't, it's not, I can't say that I think it's an interesting thing for me to discuss what policies I think should be implemented. Yeah, the people should have what they want, they should be free, okay, of course. But um, I want Rani to not feel like his identity is a problem, like he has trouble knowing himself because he thinks that so many people imagine he can't be you know, an Arab Israeli Muslim. I'm sorry, an Arab Israeli Christian, exactly. You know, it's like, what, you can't have these three together. You have to choose, or you have to, I want him to live in a place where he doesn't feel like his identity is specifically challenged because of the political situation. And between East and West, between Israel, Palestine, and the Middle East, I want to see what I want to see everywhere. I want the people that I love to be able to be and be proud of being that person that they are. No fear, you know? And like, it really is kind of a way, like, I don't want people to live in fear. And today we were saying strength and power is saying, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. And no matter what you do, I'm not going to be the person I don't want to be. You know, like, it takes a lot more strength and character to, it takes a lot more strength to die for something than to kill for something. And it's saying, I feel so strongly about this, that, you know, you can take out a gun and literally shoot me before I'll meet you in this battle, because the battle is fought by really just believing that it's worth it and believing that you can be successful. And the only reason why you should believe in it is because you believe in yourself and you trust yourself. And it really does mean something to know that other people who you know and laugh with really are depending on you too. Like, the world, you know, maybe it sounds like pompous or arrogant, but the world depends on Tirana to be Tirana and to say, okay, world, you unfold as you will, but the part that I'm going to play in this world is the Tirana way. I mean, without that, we're just hopeless. You know, I really believe that, like, yeah. If the light goes out, if this energy and enthusiasm and belief, you know, yes we can, if that goes out, like, we're in a horrible dark place. I really think that.
Okay, next questions. Please tell me, what role does the rest of the world have to play in this?
I mean, okay, so politically or policy-wise, I think that okay, yeah, the West has interests in the Middle East that involve oil, and so a strategic involvement based on interests is like, that's a role that you don't have to play. So I don't think the West has a role to play. I think that each person has a role to play in allowing other people to be the person that they want to be in the world. It's weird that that's actually a tough question with the camera in front of me. You know, like, the West has to play a role not because it's the West, but because we're part of of world. And as long as we continue to, like, okay, so there's this limited amount of good things in the world, and so if you get some of it, then I don't get some of it, and so probably I should, punch you in the face, shoot you, push you down the stairs, for example, so that I can get it first. It's absurd, really, when you think about it. And so I think the West has to play the role of knowing that we all have a stake in all of us having a good, happy, just life. The world is round. There are no sides. Scientifically, there are no sides in a circle, in a sphere. So to take a side, it's like, first of all, totally created, and also it just misses the point. It goes against, I think, undeniable truths, that we are one, that we do live in the same place. And even if I'm the one sort of winning in the world, I'm still living in like a really unfair world. It's still the world that I'm living in if it's unfair. So I think that the West has to play a role of not being the West, of not seeing like, oh, this is the East, and yeah.
Okay, last questions. Please tell me, you have fear or any concern about the situation in the Middle East? I mean, like,
I hope that anyone can go wherever they want without a visa or a passport. I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime, but that's my hope. And I think that we do have to imagine this dream of what we want to see to get anywhere close to, dream of an ideal world, and maybe you'll have like an okay one, I want to be able to go wherever I want with no passport. I want Ahmed and Rani to be able to cross these borders, and for Ahmed and for Hadi to be able to go back and visit his family in Gaza without even thinking about it, because we all, truly feel this connectedness. I fear thinking about my own, I do have political thoughts, I do have sides, I do think, Israel is occupying Palestine and it's unfair and illegitimate. That's my political thought. And I fear that I can be so affected by political happenings, I fear that I'm not strong enough to say, okay, world, no matter what happens, I stand for this, I do this. And so I fear that hope, those lights can go out, and I think that this is really where Toronto comes in, like, especially living in a place where most people don't think the way that I do. It's like, well, what do you mean one world? You mean the Western world or the Muslim world? Like, when, sensing that light dimming, sensing that hope and belief dimming, that's when you say, okay, guys, that's what this is about. This is our network where I'm doubting right now. Let me, take some of your light, or give me some concrete way where when I'm looking at a tank, we'll even say an American tank going around and shooting people in civilians and children, in Afghanistan for, that when that happens, to have this very concrete way to to act without violence. Nonviolent protest, it's not passive. It's not like, oh, okay, so I'm not being violent, so, well then, what do you do sometimes? Especially when, your feelings are so passionate that, like, I have to do something. But what do? Like, this is the way to channel that passion and those feelings into something that I actually feel matters, something that I actually do feel makes a difference.